You're watching We the People. The outbreak of the coronavirus, the shutdowns that have followed, working from home, self-isolation, all of this is very much capable of filling one with anxiety and stress. And that's something that hasn't been touched upon. With restaurants, educational institutions, cinema halls, now even malls shut down, the situation is keeping one from using social events as a distraction. What does this mean, and what could this mean for mental health? We have joining us Prerna Kohli. She's a clinical psychologist. Prerna, first and foremost, how do you protect your mental health while in self-isolation? Because often when mental health is an issue, you say to everyone, reach out, talk to someone, go find a friend, hang out with somebody. What do you do when that's the first thing you cannot do?
Thank you for having me on your show. I think first and foremost, we could look at actually creating a schedule for ourselves, like we usually do all the time when we are having a daily routine. If we have a daily routine happening in our house also, the time we wake up, the time we exercise, the time we schedule to do our work, we will not feel totally discomforted. And when you say that we are always saying reach out to people, we could reach out virtually now. We have to have a social support groups happening. You can have your virtual coffees, you can have virtual exercises, you can have virtual meditations, you can have virtual singing, instruments playing. You can be together still, because this is a challenging time and we have to prepare ourselves for it. We have a choice either
we shouldn't call it social distancing, but perhaps we can call it, physical distancing. I think that's the way one doctor described it to NDTV. Yes. Let me bring in Sarva Sarvesh. He's the CEO and co-founder of Sarva and Diva Yoga. Sarva, we've talked about how this has been a huge setback for many industries, the restaurant business, cinema halls, etc. But one of the places where we're seeing a spurt is on online classes. We have doctor here who's recommended that one stick to a routine, one stick to, perhaps doing classes and exercising. Are you finding that in your company?
I think firstly, thank you so much, Sarah, for having me on the show with Prerna as well. It's been quite amazing over the last 10 days actually, in terms of how online and virtual classes have picked up for us. Over the last 10 days, over 20,000 people have attended our online sessions. The first day we had about 35 people attending. Yesterday we had 4,200 attending one class. It's significant, it's massive. And as a wellness company, as a digital wellness company, what we've also done is, like Prerna just suggested, that we've been organizing a lot of wellness events. We organized a music concert, we organized a talk on entrepreneurship, we organized a lot of live classes with a bunch of influencers. The amount of people coming and taking part in these virtual live classes is so amazing. We have over 2,000 live sessions happening for free over the next 30 days. And the response that we've been getting in the music concert, we had somebody from Italy joining us and saying that Ankur is our favorite singer and we couldn't ask for more. And that for us makes a huge difference, that we're able to play a very small role in everybody's life. And in fact, we are organizing about 100 free classes for people who are going to be from Italy, just to boost their immunity, because nobody today is talking about boosting of immunity. And I think that's very, very critical at this stage, which is talking about immunity.
Yes. But Prerna, how do you balance, the shift which we had in the past, where everybody said try and cut down on the time you spend on your screens and on your devices, and now suddenly it's just the opposite. We have young children as young as 4, for example, who are having virtual classes, perhaps only to be expected because schools now already been closed for a month. So we've gone from one extreme to the other.
Having said that, I think we can choose, seeing the media or, looking at our network to a certain extent. We can control how much we want to use it, and we can choose it carefully to support us, to encourage us, to, lift us, energy us. So I think we can choose here. because we'll have to set a timetable for this also. We cannot be having overload of any kind of information in these times. We have to choose carefully what we are listening to. Is it supporting us? Is it encouraging us? It is helping us through these daunting times. And for that, it is very important to, make your mental immunity stronger. That even the messages that we are passing on WhatsApp are conducive, are supportive, are not scaring you further, because a lot of anxiety is happening due to unpredictability and the confusion and the conflicts. So I think whatever is in control within us, our parameters, at least we should control that. The timing to watch, the media, the television. We have to utilize it.
So technology can be a huge advantage depending on how you use it. But Sarvesh, is the first step to mental health at least being informed and making sure that you're informed about the right facts? Because otherwise you could get very panicky.
I think the first step to mental health would be acceptance, because only if you're accepting the current situation can you make any kind of change to it. So you need to embrace whatever information you get by ensuring that they are from credible sources. So, because both fear and anxiety both reduces your immune system, which is not going to do any good. You will have to accept that this is happening and kind of embrace it positively as much as you can. It's more on the lines of when people say, sorry, I'm late. Instead of that, you can say, thank you for waiting for me. So if you start giving these small positive affirmations across, you can see a phenomenal change, because today you saw it at 5 p.m. Everybody's talking about self-love, but I think the whole concept is we are doing it for the community. All of us are ensuring that we stayed in our house the entire day we're going to be staying until 9 p.m. and till 31st as well for the community. Yeah. So the more we kind of think of, it's not self-love, but it's community love. It's compassion. Compassion is when you don't expect anything in return. And when you keep doing that, the result is fantastic. The community that you're building is fantastic.
Okay, Sarvesh, but tell me, a lot of people, like you said, everybody stayed off the streets. So the majority of people stayed off the streets. It was a Sunday, but everybody went into this thinking that it was a one-day affair. Many will be waking up in the morning and finding out that no, this is now the new reality, right? There are many states that have ordered a lockdown. In the capital also, it's a lockdown. What advice would you give to anyone wondering now what to do, because it's not a one-day affair anymore?
I was fairly certain this was just a tester for a day, and then kind of
but not everybody was.
So I was fairly certain, and people who spoke to me, we kept telling them it is going to be a lockdown until 31st. It's a tester for everybody, so let's kind of win this. I think, like Prerna said, the first thing to do is have a schedule, have all kinds of schedule, because today emails work well, conference calls work well, virtual calls work well. Our entire company is virtually working, and we built all these digital stuff over the last 8-10 days. So having a right schedule, I mean, just make your office into a virtual office and kind of have your exercise routines in it. The best things are you can have home food for 3 times in the day. You can ensure that you can speak to your parents quite regularly. Yes, it's amazing. It's about how you take things, right? It's about how you take the situation and make it into an opportunity.
Okay, so have a schedule and don't sit in your pajamas all day for one. Thank you so much, Sarvesh and Prerna. Thank you for joining us. We're going to wind up the show now, We the People, with just some images of Bollywood stars, leading personalities from that industry coming forward on this day to show their appreciation for those on the front line in the fight against the coronavirus.